Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. I've been better though. Not gonna lie, man. Memorial Day weekend was fun. So salute to all those who sacrificed or loved ones that sacrificed. So I enjoyed the weekend as being off from work. But bro, I pulled my neck, like either working out or sleeping weird or a mixture of both. So dude, like if my head looks way forward, pause. It's because like, bro, it feels like someone's like pushing my neck, like dude, it's killing me. But
Damn.
I went to the chiropractor right before this. I'm gonna go back tomorrow. But yeah, man. Besides that, life is good. I enjoyed my weekend. It was good to be at home doing nothing, relaxing. The weather wasn't too hot. But yeah, neck pains, bro. Getting old is essentially what that is. How about you, bro? How was your long weekend?
Not gonna lie, it was pretty bad. Mainly because I had like sales training for work just before the weekend started, and it was like, granted, so I thought about it and I'm like, okay, it was the standard work hours. Like, we had breakfast at like 8, didn't end till 5, which is like a normal day by 9 to 5 standards, but there was no breaks at all, like no downtime to check your phone or, go to the bathroom and walk around for 25 minutes. Like
And it
none of
wasn't
that.
training at home on a Zoom. It was training at the
No.
office.
Yeah, at office in person, and like your brain has to be on. And for the life of me, I can't understand why in this day and age people haven't realized that the science basically proves like no brain is capable of being at peak performance for like 8 hours straight, like
Yeah.
maybe 3 hours. I think literally like 3 hours of work is focus work is more productive than like 9 of shitty half-ass work.
Yeah.
So long story short, by Friday, I wake up, I'm like congested as hell, tired as fuck, and I was sick basically the entire weekend. So
Damn.
I didn't really get to do a whole lot. Granted, we did barbecue a bit on Sunday. Had a couple friends come over and
On the rooftop?
yep, on the rooftop, drank and kind of vibed out to some house music Sunday night, and then Monday just got back into my running routine, and
Nice.
that felt good. Had some really bomb sushi at this place. It has like the conveyor belt.
Oh, those are the best, bro. Those are
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best. I went to when I used to go to London a lot when I was in college. The one there was called like Yo Sushi, and like I think it's the same concept, bro. Like different color plates mean certain price levels, blah blah blah. But dude, like again, coming from like South Florida, where I was like a sophomore in college, so going from India where that wasn't a thing, I was still a broke college kid, so that wasn't a thing in South Florida. So going to London and seeing that, you're like, bro, they have everything here. Like, what a
Yeah,
genius
yeah.
idea. Like,
No, it was dope. I For some reason I always thought that only existed in like Japan itself. But yeah, it's dope because at least this place was cheap. Like each plate was like $3 to $4.
oh, that's nice.
So we
Yeah.
went pretty hard there. And then today work just like right back to it, super busy and hectic. So long story short, I'm looking forward to June because May's not it right now.
Oh man, that's funny, dude. Yeah, I've been like so I'm on day 9 of the 75 hard. So it's been going well, dude, but I think it's just like I think my body's still trying to figure out like what's going on. Like how come it's been 8 9 days without alcohol? How come you're giving me some of the same foods I'm used to but not the same? I think my body's still very, because I feel like blah. But it is what it is. Drink your electrolytes. I take like a liquid IV every other day. And again, we'll be all right, man. June will be a better month, but we'll finish out May strong. About to start episode 179. Episode 178 is everywhere. The Diddler is done. Talks about Diddy, up everywhere where podcasts are found. But all right, man, episode 179. We can go a few different ways, but I guess we could give more recent news first and then kind of trickle our way backwards. So do you want to share the latest in what's been a very bad month for Drake as well, not just you? So what's the latest on our boy right now?
The latest on our boy Drake.
Yeah.
You want the latest, or should we start with the latest like BBL related content?
I would say like the mob ties.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we can
I
just
think
see like
that's a
what.
good one.
Yeah. I can see where that goes.
Yeah. So essentially, Drake, his song "Mob Ties," there was a leak of a reference track for that specific song, and vory, who's I think now a pretty well-known songwriter slash artist himself, who's worked with Meek Mill, obviously Drake. Um, this track had leaked a while back, even before the beef, but now it's resurfaced on the internet. And what you can hear is vory clearly voicing lyrics that are almost identical to what Drake officially released, same cadence and everything as well. So obviously in the midst of the beef, it doesn't really help with Drake's reputation or ghostwriter allegations. I myself am still kind of in shock that there's more stuff surfacing at this point in time. Horrible timing for Drake. But yeah, I don't think this dude needs to just call 2024 off and come back in like 8 months or something.
So for the casual listener or viewer who's not truly into understanding the nuances of hip hop, so what is like when an artist sends another artist a reference track, what does that entail?
When an artist sends another artist a reference track, you're basically saying, Here's the blueprint of how you should sound
On the
on
song.
this song." I actually wrote a reference track myself in the past. It never went anywhere, but essentially you're just saying, hey, this is what you could sound like. Obviously, you can stray away from it, but it's basically giving the person like the formula for that song. Because obviously, reading written lyrics is completely different when you're putting it on the track itself and singing it.
Okay, so do you put any stock in the idea that this is coming out in the age of AI and people have heard this guy's voice before and like are just using this as another thing to kind of just put out there as like a blemish on Drake's? Because it feels odd that again this album Scorpion came out in 2017 or 2018, right? Mob Ties is around that time, right?
Yeah.
So it feels weird that this version all of a sudden comes out 6.5 years later. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you put any credence on the fact that this might be like AI and it's just like a perfect timing to kind of keep this shitstorm that is happening in Drake's life right now when it comes to music?
Personally, I don't think so. Just because one, to me it sounded very clearly like vory.
I never heard his voice before, so I didn't. But you're saying he's an artist, so I figured his voice is out there, so people could use it if they wanted to.
I think the reason why it's coming out now is obviously we'll call them Drake haters are doing the investigative work to resurface it. Because I know before when the beef was just kind of starting, I saw some really old threads of the mob ties.
So when you say the beef, you mean like Meek Mill and Drake, or like the current Kendrick and Drake?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think now, like, regardless of if it's Kendrick or Drake, the fans are gonna investigate and try to tarnish the other person's reputation, the artist they don't like. But in this specific case, there's like old, not even Reddit, I forget the name of the forum, but there's old threads of people addressing the mob ties vory leak. So like regardless, it definitely exists. And I think it's just that now people were able to go back and somehow find the files, because I had tried clicking the links and like the files were all deleted. So I don't know if Drake's team like scrubbed that away or what, but I think it's just now with everything going on, people are just looking for ways to like this person's, got reference tracks like they did it with Kendrick as well on Baby Keem, allegedly. So I think they're just doing the same thing with Drake, and it just so happens this is one of the more known reference leaks.
Got it. Yeah, dude, if it's accurate, it's not a good look. That's all I can say. Yeah. Like, it's just not a good look. I don't know, like, what else to add to that. Like, it's just not a good look. Terrible timing, right? I think that's more the bad thing, right? Because Drake has gotten these allegations before. That he's not, that's not new to him, right? But I think in a different time where he could be more immune and you can spin it, right? I don't think there's. I mean, I think the smart move here is to not say anything, right? Like,
Mhm.
don't even acknowledge it, right? Like, almost like the daughter thing. Like, yeah, it was funny in the moment when he posted Instagram story saying, "Yo, what daughter are you talking about? Send her home." But like
Mhm.
with this, it's just like, bro, like I wouldn't. We'll get into the BBL thing in a second here, 'cause I think that was actually clever. But this, I don't know, bro. I wouldn't. I wouldn't touch this one. I was like, I would be like, yo, let the internet think whatever the fuck they want to think. Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. No, like not to copy the lyrics of that song. But keep it moving. Like I would just keep it
Right.
moving, bro. Like if you're Drake, there's no way you can address this, bro. Because whatever you say in this one is gonna come across very like defensive, and
Mhm.
everything you say is just gonna be like, see, we fucking told you. Think
Yeah.
about it, like again, in a weird way, like not to make it like so like brutal, but like the same thing we said last week about the fucking the Diddy video, bro. Like if you've been accused your entire life of being a wife beater, and then we see that one video of you beating your wife, we're like, bro, that's probably what you've been doing your
Yeah.
entire life. So with Drake, it's like, bro, like don't address this, dog. Like
Yeah.
let it ride. Like again, I think what's gonna help Drake, and then jump in wherever you want. I think what's gonna help Drake in this situation is his fans are also very loud, and they're gonna keep pushing that content of like Kanye and other artists being grateful for Drake writing their shit, right?
Mhm.
And kind of drown it out with like, well, maybe he did get that song, but bro, he also writes his song. And here's an example of one of your favorite artists saying that he's a great writer. And so like I do think there's a way for like the fans to spin this on his behalf, but yeah, Drake cannot jump in the back and forth for people, bro. It's gonna be terrible.
Yeah. And just for your knowledge, because I had been following Vory since like 2019, I want to say, and the person we will never speak up ever again, the one we hate, who's happens to be from the Six as well. Um, she was playing a Vory song. Um,
Really?
yeah, and
That's so
I,
random,
yeah,
bro.
it was random. I think was it with, but it was like with Post Malone, I want to say.
Got
If I'm
it.
not mistaken.
Okay.
Was it with Post Malone?
Damn, I
I don't
never
know. I'll
heard
have
this
to go
artist
back.
before though, bro. That's crazy. I'd never, yeah, not even in passing. I feel like you and I have never even brought him up like on some like, oh, have you heard of this guy type shit.
Yeah, and it was because it was like he may have been heat of the week at some point, but it was one of those artists where it's like you hear one song, you check out a few others, but like they never really blow up to a level where you're like, okay, they're at the forefront of my mind. Let me share them with
Sure, sure, yeah,
everybody.
yeah, yeah.
And coincidentally, he has a song with Beam.
Which is all
Okay,
the
so
people that he like that Drake's like
yeah,
accused of like working with and doing the same
right.
shit. Yeah,
And I would go to these guys' Instagrams and I'm like, oh, they only have, let's say, 40K followers, but Drake and Meek Mill and all these guys following them. And now it's clicking with everything going on that there's just a lot of writers behind the scenes who are trying to be their own artists. But little do we know they're writing hooks for this guy and doing this for that guy. And obviously, like the Kendricks and stuff know exactly what's going on, but we just hear the music. Maybe we see a song credit, but we don't even know what the credit's for. Um,
yeah.
but
And there's so many credits on these songs, bro. Like it's
exactly.
impossible to try to like decipher what that means. You just mean because remember, like I think one of them said, like, dude, if you're in the room and you give an idea, you get a credit for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I guess Drake is a unique conversation because he's like kind of a pop star and R&B singer at the same time, and having lyrics written for you or sung for you is pretty much completely fine, because performing it is like where the talent comes in for the most part, like Bieber, for instance, we'll say.
Yeah.
But I think the primary issue is Drake is clearly stating he's the best. And I think it's an issue when, like, I think everyone knows Drake is a talented writer and is capable of writing his own songs. The problem is it seems like it's an extra, it's like being on steroids, because he has these filler tracks that, let's say, Vory or Beam might be able to sing and create the hook for. And now if you have like an album of 20 songs and the ones you maybe only did 50% of the work on, if those become hits, and then you're all about the numbers and saying you got the numbers, then now we don't know what the fuck is real, like how much you contributed. And I think that that takes away from the number one rapper conversation, because like it's fine if you collaborate and everything, but you can't sit back and say, all right, like I have more numbers than you if vory wrote some or sung, not even right, like if he just sung it in a dope ass way, that still counts.
Yeah, yeah, and again, this is all conspiracy, but I do have like an associate or a person. I'm sorry, I think the right word is like acquaintance. Yeah, acquaintance from like someone from work who's like was a writer for Sony and has a couple credits to his name. And he made a comment to me like I want to say like a year and a half ago, bro. Oh, when Drake dropped Search and Rescue, right? That was doing numbers, right?
Mhm.
And then in that conversation, he brought up how like, bro, like I really want to like Drake, but like I know he called it like a sweatshop. And he's like, bro, he has a sweatshop of writers that he just has available to him anytime of whenever he makes a phone call and just takes whatever they have. And then from that, just kind of skims through it the same way people skim through beats. That's what he said. Again, in my mind, I fucking rolled my eyes like, who gives a fuck? Like, whatever. Like, I don't believe that, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, dude, again, everything you're saying is right, bro. Like, it makes you look at it a little bit funny. Like, you just look at it in a certain way. But I don't know, bro, because this specific reference track is so specific, it's kind of hard for even me to try to defend it, right? But the only thing I can like, bro, the only thing I can go back to is the Rap Radar video that interview that you and I spoke about on the pod like 2 or 3 years ago, where he's talking about like all his biggest songs are him. And ideas float around in a studio, and he might grab an idea, but he's still the one that lays the beat, gives the song. I don't know, bro. It's weird because he doesn't truly address it, but he kind of addresses it. So maybe there's still room for interpretation. But I get your point, bro. Like if you're meant to be the number one guy, there shouldn't be any kind of doubt about your penmanship, right? So
Right.
that's tough, bro. That's a tough one.
And it's also confusing to me because like that whole defense of my hits are the ones I wrote. I know a lot of your favorite songs you shared with me weren't hits at all, and they're a bit more personal
Like
and intro. Yeah. And I'm like, well, then are you?
Yeah, bro. If I found out that he didn't write "Do Not Disturb," bro, we're gonna have a very different episode.
Like, because that would be more alarming if he's not writing that shit. Because that shit should become easier, and
because that's like the most introspective, personal he ever gets, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then even with the hits, like, okay, let's say he did write One Dance, but then what happens if what you don't consider as big of a hit, I don't know, we could name whatever, like was that one Nonstop or whatever from Scorpion, I think.
Yeah, but like, that song ended up being a hit. But like, yeah, like you're saying, it's like his definition of a hit,
right,
may be like God's plan.
Right.
But it's like, bro, these other songs that did crazy numbers, what if you didn't write those either? And like now we're just No,
because even if it's like 30% of the hits will say he didn't write and he wrote 70, like it's still adding to the stats and the streams and everything.
Yeah, when he talks about MJ numbers, there might be some of those songs in those MJ numbers.
Right.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, dude, it's tough. It's tough for like it's a bad month for it's a bad 7 weeks for our boy. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Like I don't know, but bro, I kind of wish like maybe what's the guy's name? Vory? Hopefully he would address it, right? Like it'd be dope if he would. I mean, maybe these guys have like NDAs and can't even talk about this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be dope if like someone in his camp came out and said, no, bro, like, or hey, this is what happened. These are how these things work. I don't know. Because I feel like it's also tough for me. And again, removing the Stan situation from, it's hard for me to truly just, oh, here's a song. He clearly bit this completely. It's like, dude, there has to be more, bro. Like again, I don't know. I feel like an artist of that level. This is not like, I remember like back on like the hip hop blog days, bro. And you would hear like when Wiz Khalifa wrote a song for Tiny Tempa, right? And then you
Mhm.
heard that version all over, and like another person had that song too. But like, bro, this is Drake, dog. This is not some like rig-a-dig artist looking for a song on fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
Bro, this is like, you would think there's like more of a process of this, and like this stuff would never get leaked, or I don't know, man. It's also, it's like almost too easy to believe it, that that gives me reason for like,
Yeah.
let's just pause real quick, right? Because it's too simple, bro. Like,
Unless he has a mole in his camp, like Kendrick keeps saying.
maybe, yeah, maybe, but yeah, it just seems too simple, bro. Like, I feel like there's more there. I feel like there could be more to the story, but on the surface, yeah, it doesn't look good. Like, it's hard. It'd be hard for any Drake stan to truly push back. Like, yeah, bro, it sounds just like the song.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it makes sense because I mean, Drake has been able to basically not take a fucking break like ever. And I feel like it's almost like humanly impossible for him to just even have the creative juice to do that consistently, that often, for that long. And I mean, when you look at producers like Dr. Dre and Kanye and stuff, I'm pretty sure they have like their own minions producing for them and all this stuff, but we don't care because like that's never been what we judge the producer
Correct.
on. Like,
Yeah, dude, because I remember Yeezus. But it's funny you say that, though. Not to cut you off, my bad. But like, I remember having that thought, because when Yeezus dropped, that was like 2012, 2013, right?
mhm.
And like, I remember him Kanye talking about that album. And then he's listing off, bro, like 15 like other massive name producers that helped him make the beats. So
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, like, so like, is it their album, bro? Like, or just like, but again, like, to your point, when it's a producer, that one we allow the creativity and sharing of knowledge, and like, oh, dude, change the beat this way, and that we're okay with. But yeah, when it comes to penmanship, if it's a rap song, we're not okay with that. That's just like that's not even an unwritten rule. That's like the rule, bro. That shit is written in stone. If you're an R&B singer, pop star, we don't give a fuck, bro. That's why, dude, how many Justin Bieber songs we know Ed Sheeran wrote, bro? Like, and we're just like, bro, it's a banger. Like, I don't give a fuck. But with a rapper, we're just like, bro, that there's no way we're allowed that. Which is again, only when they get to a certain level, and we're like, bro, we don't go to you for penmanship anyway. Like when Snoop Dogg admitted that Jay-Z wrote his verse on Next Episode, right? Or still whatever song he had, we were all like, for a second, we were like, that's kind of strange. But then it's like, it's Snoop, bro. Like, when have we ever gone to Snoop and Snoop's 50? Like, who gives a fuck, you know? But yeah, it's not the best look. It's not the best look.
Yeah. I mean, Quentin Miller kind of defended Drake. He said he's not a ghostwriter for Drake. So I don't, again, I think everyone's very aware that Drake like is a talented writer and has and probably continues to make songs that are his own. But the problem is, like you alluded to with the Diddy analogy, like 1 or 2 or 3 reference tracks are enough for people to say, well, now we don't know what your own work is or how much you contributed. And the melody half the time is the reason why people even fuck with the song. So forget the lyrics. Like Quentin Miller, granted, I don't know if he did the best job versus vory in terms of how his sounded, but in any case, like I think that's what people go to him for.
What was the Quentin Miller one that was like the most obvious one that people thought?
So he did Rico was the one that Meek Mill, I think, exposed or whatever, or at least was popular. So he did Rico, the one that has Meek Mill on it, and then 10 bands, 20
was
bands.
It that one? I feel like it was
he did that
was
one
like
as well.
super like
With My Woes.
That's the one. Yeah. That was the one that people were like, oh, because I think people got the most mad about that one, dude, because they were like, oh, this was like, that sounded different. Yeah. So we were like, oh shit, Drake is giving us like a different sound, like different nuance. So we were like, let's fucking go. And they were like, oh wait, not that one, bro. Like, so yeah. But even though I don't think this is gonna be my follow-up question to all this. It's that, bro, okay, so this drops today on May 28th. This is the story. Do we really think this is going to be a story on June 28th.
On
Like,
June 28th?
Like, in the atmosphere, bro. Like, people are going to be talking about this. Because I don't. Like, this is my thing. I feel like, again, we're talking about Quentin Miller now because this came up, right? But when are we ever really talking about the Quentin Miller allegations, bro? Like, that's not a topic of conversation when it comes to Drake, really. Like, again, I know it's easy to talk about this now because we're in the midst of a fucking World War III beef and, right, that it started to die down, but not completely. But I also don't really see how this is going to ruin Drake's legacy when it's just like, bro, like, I think society has proven to us, like, bro, like, they're like, it's top of mind, recency bias, and then a month and a half, it's whatever's popular then they're going to talk about.
I would disagree that it won't be still part of the conversation, only because I know with Drake, every time the conversation is anywhere remotely around him being the best or whatever, then Quentin Miller comes up. And I feel like this will just add to it. So I don't think it'll be like the topic, the main
so you
topic
feel like
of
when
Drake.
not us maybe, but like even like in your own like pockets or what we see on the web, you think when like first person shooter came out and it was a undeniable banger that people were bringing up Quentin Miller? Because I didn't see that.
No, I think if they're a straight up like Drake hater trying to spam, maybe, but I don't think like media outlets are talking about it. I think it's only when who's top five, like when it's specifically separate from a specific song and it's just a conversation of Drake's legacy.
Got it.
Then it immediately comes up. And I think it's kind of like with Chris Brown. Like Chris Brown could drop the dopest album. No one cares about Rihanna. But as soon as we're like, is he
but he's a white
Michael
beater.
Jackson?
Yeah, he's
or,
a government.
should he deserve this award for, fucking peace and harmony? Then people bring up Rihanna like that shit happened 10 minutes ago.
Or that he's like a junkie. It's like, all right, bro, but is the music good though? Like
right. Like if this motherfucker shows an ounce of emotion or anger, then he's apparently done 18 lines of coke.
Yeah, and apparently he's like a gangbanger. Were we aware of this?
Yeah, he's. I mean, that's been like an ongoing thing. Apparently, he's
that he
like,
confirms
represents
though,
Pyru.
or like people say that about him. Like, has he ever said that in a song?
No, he's like very overtly like Pyru'd out.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure there's songs where he mentions it.
Because I know Drake mentions it on Family Matters, but I didn't realize that was about Chris Brown. I thought like I didn't know who CB was. So
yeah, even like Games Manager was like, yeah, Chris is like can really claim it and stuff. Obviously, I don't think he's like
an
done
idiot.
drive-bys and shit, but I think he's like invested a lot of money and time to the point where like he's basically allowed to claim it.
Interesting. Yeah. Again, I'll be very. That's a great point. That's a great point because when Chris Brown starts getting compared to the greats, it's like, well, this, well, that. It's like, bro, we're comparing him to a guy who also been accused of fucking kids. Like, we can, let's remove their like personal lives from this and just focus on the content, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's again. I struggle to think this is going to truly diminish his legacy in any real way. But again, in the moment, right, like in the midst of the tail end of this beef, it only adds a little bit more fuel if you're on that Kendrick camp. Like, bro, see, you want to call Kendrick a liar, but here's another truth that he's telling the truth about something else. So, and I get that, bro. And if you're on Drake's side, it is what it is, bro. And it's just like, we'll see how long this lasts, and until like he drops a banger and then it's undeniable, and we're like, no one cares. But right now, not a good look, and I would recommend for him. Oh, so what do you think he should do? I said I think he should like not say anything, but what do you think Drake should do in retaliation or in the midst of this happening right now?
Personally, I don't think he should do anything. People, I feel like currently hate him, and there's nothing he could say to prove himself. Like once you've already lost in the court of public opinion, like anything he does just looks like he's trying really hard to prove that he's not lying or that he's capable or sensitive. And if he ignores it, then I think the internet will eventually ignore it. But
yeah,
he's gonna draw too much attention. He's just too massive.
Yeah, bro. Because again, I feel like the and we'll get into the BBL Drizzy and the Sexy Red song in a second. But like those songs are popular on a not just hip hop circle, hip hop blogs, hip hop page level, right? Whereas like this vory mob ties reference track, as of now, for 24 hours, is very much living in that silo of that world, right? Like this isn't on like fucking CNN or Frank Sinatra's like, you know, or Tank Sinatra's Instagram page. Like, so yeah, I don't think you try to draw more attention because like he's so polarizing that if he draws attention to this, it really is going to become like a bigger deal. So that's why I think it's smarter for him to just like, bro, like let these blogs talk. They always talk and kind of keep it moving.
Yeah. I don't know. He needs to also get a tighter hold on these reference tracks.
These leaks.
Yeah, it's not helping him at all.
So what was the other one that's leaked recently?
There was a Lil Yachty one. Funny enough, like I don't think people gave a shit because it's Lil Yachty. It's like any of us could have, you know, done that in our sleep by like mumble rap versus real rap standards. I don't think people really cared about that song because he was featured on, I think it was a song that Drake was featured on Lil Yachty's and Lil Yachty wrote it for him or something. So I don't think it held much weight. But I don't think there are any other major songs that Drake put out that were leaked as references.
I got you, dude. But like, because of like the hip hop and the rules in hip hop, dude. But, yeah, dude, it's just hip hop, bro. It's a world in its own. Because I'm trying to think like, because essentially Bad Bunny is the equivalent of Drake, right? For all intents and purposes, like in that world, like it is, bro. You get a Drake, you get a Bad Bunny feature, it's gonna be number one. Anything Bad Bunny drops, number one. Like that's really just Drake, right? But if we found out that people were writing his shit, I'm like, I don't think anyone would care, bro. And I'm talking about like Hispanic or reggaeton fans, right? Because for the same thing, like you're saying, bro, like you're just telling me you went on a fucking 8-year run and you just didn't take a break and it's just hit after hit after hit. Like, but that's literally what Bad Bunny is, bro. Like that is what Bad Bunny has been doing since like 2016, just nonstop fucking bangers. So, and I guess I could ask like more like my Hispanic friends and stuff. Like I truly don't think if people found out that he had a sweatshop of writers making him reggaeton bangers, I don't think anyone's gonna give a fuck, bro.
But I think like with rap, like the whole essence is competitive and I'm better than you. And if I'm saying I'm better than you, but I really mean we are, because I have like 15 people helping me, then it's like, all right, the conversation kind of stops there. Because like I won't stop listening to Drake. I still can't deny that I love the music, but if he's saying he's the best, I can't look at this rapper and be like, well, this is one guy. How are you saying you're the best when you have like 18 people helping you?
An army of you, like yeah.
And I don't know if Bad Bunny's claiming to be better than other people, but if he's not, I'm assuming, then
yes,
totally fine. If he's
he is. I think in trap, like Spanish trap, they have similar rules. So I mean, I could be way off. So someone in the comments roast me or educate us. But yeah, just interesting, bro. But I get your point, bro. But my thing also is like to play devil's advocate, do we truly believe that all of them are also not doing this, right? Like, do we truly think that it's the easier person to bring up, but Kendrick in the situation? Do we truly? Cause I feel like Kendrick said Baby Keem helped him write songs on Dan. Like I feel like he said that. You know what I mean? So do we not think that other artists are doing, like, again, maybe not a reference track, right? I obviously agree with that, but like, hey, bro, I think you should like this. You really should say it this way, or hey, this is what this hook should be. Like, do we truly think it's just one artist by himself coming up with every single aspect, bro? I push back on that, but not just for Kendrick and Drake, bro. I don't think Jay-Z's doing that. I don't think any of them are it's just one guy, bro. It's a fucking machine. But I believe 90% of it is coming from like their train of thought. But bro, there's no fucking way, dude, that it's just one person.
No, I'm sure there's bits and pieces of collaboration, I feel like it's almost impossible to even work with someone else. Like if I were to work with someone like my brother, like even we like and his friend when we were making the song, like bounce ideas and stuff. But I feel like with Drake, it's just a lot more emphasized because like he's constantly switching his style and doing all this shit that like the average rapper isn't doing. So when these reference tracks comes out, it just seems like he's just got a like an army of fucking like Duolingo damn near rappers just popping out of nowhere, giving him all the accents and the cadences and flows and everything that just it's like he's doing 20% of the work, whereas with Kendrick and Keem, I'm sure Kendrick's doing like 90%, and then Keem says a phrase or something. He's like, oh, that'd be dope. But I feel like the concept, all the hard shit is like Kendrick's own mind.
Yeah, but again, I think it's the reference track is what makes this more incriminating.
Yeah.
That's what, right?
Because I don't think reference is really collaboration. I think that's just kind of like, all right, I wrote some shit, make it sound cool, and then I'll just like do it.
Yeah,
I don't think Keem's doing that to Kendrick.
It's the it's that meme, right? Where it's like copy my homework, but don't make it obvious. And the motherfucker, it's the same exact thing. Like it's just
right. Yeah.
No, I get you. But yeah, I can't imagine like, yeah, bro. Like think about all those clips we saw from like VH1 back in the day behind the scenes. Bro, there's like 17 people in these fucking studios, bro. There's no way Jay-Z is just like this profound, godly person that it's 99.9%. Like yeah, there's no way, bro. So, but again, the reference track is what makes this the most damaging. But again, we'll see how long this conversation lasts, but hopefully lasts enough for us to get a lot of comments and likes. So please subscribe. So the Drake jumping on Sexy Red's new project, dude, the song was whatever. I did enjoy his track, his verse. Do you remember the name of the song though?
Wasn't it like "Show Me You Love Me" or some shit like that? Drake, Sexy Red.
Oh, you pulling it
up?
You
My Everything.
You My Everything. There you go. So You My Everything. Drake jumped on that. He was able to spin I guess not the full beat, but he was able to use the BBL Drizzy beat by Metro Boomin because Metro Boomin didn't have the copyrights to that song because he really didn't make that song, if we're being perfectly fucking honest. But for the sake of this, he jumps on the Metro song. And bro, I personally thought, I know you thought it was fake initially, but I fucked with it, bro. Like, I'm like, dude, make it a fun spin. Like, lean into it, bro, because I feel like for those kind of things, right? Like for this, for the Vory Mob Ties reference track, we both agree, don't say anything. This shit will die down. Move on. Bro, you cannot move in America without hearing BBL Drizzy, bro. And people love that shit. So if you're Drake, you can make a funny comment and say, oh, wow, bro, you're going to make a song about my ass and think people like, no, bro, like that's not going to dismiss the masses who are in love with this song. So, dude, it's only right for you to jump on the track and like spin it, make it funny, give us some clever lines, and like now we like your version because everyone else who's hopped on that song is not as good as you. So I thought it was actually high key genius, bro, to be honest. But what were your thoughts on that verse?
For me, it felt like a corny, weak attempt, and the main reason I would say is because of the timing. So first of all, the beat released May 5th. If Drake had done it much sooner, I would say, okay, he didn't even give the trend or the theme time to prosper. But like, we're fucking 25 days later, and now you want to pretend like it makes sense and that you were the first on the scene to like turn them from laughing at you to laughing with you. I just feel like the timing is horrible. Like, there's literally thousands of songs that were made on this beat prior to Drake jumping in. I don't know how much truth there is to it, but Andrew Schultz on the Flagrant podcast suggested Drake do this like several weeks ago.
Like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So that
Make
doesn't
like
help because there's no proof.
Bad bitches love Drake is what he said. Make it, yeah.
And granted, I don't think he said that, but
the idea of it, like spinning it, like
spinning it, um, aligns with what Schultz said. But even if Schultz had never said that, I think the timing's off. One, I can't stand Sexy Red on like that song or most of her songs. And then two, I just felt like I mean, yeah, the bars are cool and everything, but it was just too predictable and didn't really help because the current narrative is one, Drake thinks he's a bad bitch like Sexy Red. Two, not really providing anything of substance, misogynist, whatever you name it. I just think the timing couldn't have been worse. And I think overwhelming reception to this song is that it's objectively just bad.
Well,
or
I think the
okay
song's
at
gonna,
best.
yeah, okay. I mean, but I think objectively, I think that's what everyone thinks about Sexy Red in general, right?
Yeah.
So I'll push back from the perspective of, bro, so like, I get the BBL thing came out 20 days ago, right? But I think it became like unmistakable, like you can't like deny it, maybe like a week ago, or maybe 10 days ago, 10 to 14 days ago, right? Where again, the Andrew Schultzes of the world or whoever platform is like, again, it's all over TikTok nonstop, blah, blah, blah. And then, dude, you know he's been co-signing Sexy Red. So, dude, if he has to give her a feature, her album's dropping. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like I don't want to crush him for the timing of it because it's like, dude, I feel like he could only jump on the track. Because think about it, bro. What if he jumps to that point? If he jumps on the track the moment it drops, but no one's really even fucking with BBL Drizzy in the first place, then like there's no need for it. Like, yo, like why are you being corny and rapping on that beat? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like for him, bro, and even for like anyone in these beef situations, I feel like you have to do your best to be aware of what the public likes, but can't let the public determine what your next moves are going to be. Right? So I feel like you acknowledge that people are fucking with this song and like, all right, cool, I'm gonna jump on it then. And like, let's just I'll make it funny now. Right? I don't know, man. I feel like it's tough for him to decide every move based on like, well, the public is telling you shouldn't be doing this anymore, so stop doing that. Right? Like, that's tough, bro, because again, you're already, and I think it goes for anyone in business or whatever, like, bro, when you're at that level, your gut feeling has already gotten you to that level. So I feel like you're just going with like, yo, my gut is telling me it's time to drop this now, right? Because it just makes sense for him. And again, you may be right. Like I might be the minority in this one. You may be right, but I feel like people at that level have to go with their gut more often than not because that's how they got there in the first place, bro. And I feel like I don't hate the timing of it, bro. Like the song is still peaking, probably top 4 trending sounds on TikTok. His fucking artist just dropped an album. He wants to give her a feature. People are gonna listen to it because it's the both of them. And like you said, the reference line from Kendrick about both of them being bad. I don't know, man. It just kind of all played well in together. To me, like that's why like I wasn't against it. I was like, bro, I thought it was actually pretty creative, like from his perspective.
I think for me, it's also that me and I would assume a lot of people kind of have like beef or diss fatigue. And like this shit in general has been dragging on for so long that kind of like not like us.
So you're like it's almost like nice for you, you're conclusion. Like, now you fucking drop this, bro.
Yeah,
like,
it's like and it's not also it's like not even that serious of a song, but it still like reopens the fucking beef can of worms that's been trending. And it to me, it's like nothing special. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I just think it's like, hey, like let's still talk about this shit, but have like something kind of boring to talk about with a horrible fucking verse from Sexy Red. And then on top of that,
are you saying that like if you're gonna properly re-engage, don't like
essentially it feels like he's just bullied into fucking like doing it, like you said, like he's that big, he has to like prevent this wildfire from festering and like destroying him more, so he has to release something on the beat. But I guess I'm just sick of Drake feeling the need to constantly fucking just be present and do damage control. Like I wish he would just fucking chill, fuck every bitch in the Turks till you run out, and then come back in a year like with something else. I'm just like sick of trends, and it's weird too because like prior to Kendrick chiming in for the second round and third round, the bar that's most popular is "Shut up and make some drums," and then it's like now he has no choice but to fucking be on his beat. So it just feels like it was gonna be lose regardless if people consider this a loss.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know if people consider a loss or just consider it like a clever thing he did, and like I don't think it adds to like. I think it's like a no win or no lose situation. Like it's just like it's just like it is what it is. Like it's just like a song. I personally just took it as like he dropped the bar, he flipped the beat, keep it moving. You know what I mean? But again, I know he has a line where he's talking about like, you know, these people are still beefing with me, blah blah blah. But like, I don't know. I just thought it was like a nothing thing, but like a something to just keep Drake top of mind in a positive way, right? So maybe from his eyes, he's seeing it as a win, but I don't know, bro. Yeah, I didn't take it like, you know, that deep, like pause, but like, I just didn't, yeah, I was just like, bro, cool. Like you jumped on that beat, like, haha, you know, let's keep it fucking moving. Cause at some point, bro, like that beat needs to go away, bro. I'm also just over that beat in a general. Like, I'm
Same.
like, bro,
but I'm like, it's giving it more attention now. So I'm like, fuck, I still have to listen to this shit.
Yeah, because I'm definitely like just over that. I'm like, bro, like what is this, dog? Like this, like I've personally found it corny from the jump, but to our TikTok rant last week, it's just like it's unavoidable, bro. Like it's like Jesus, bro. Like, all right, bro, I get it. But yeah, again, song was trash. I didn't give any attention to the album at all. But again, I thought the verse was fine. And again, I'm not gonna be mad at getting a Drake song. So but yeah, go check that one out if you haven't yet. So before we get to Heat of the Week, though, so a couple quick topics. Tyga and Travis throw hands in Cannes, France. Your thoughts on this?
One, I was surprised because I'm like, damn, what could they still be beefing over? Is it Kylie? Like that shit was a long time ago. And
bro, but it has to be about her, bro. Like there's no way it's not.
Yeah, there's got to be some
because even though both of them may have moved on, like bro, there's certain like situations in your past that there's no way you move on from, bro. Like there's no way. It's
probably something
like,
they said way back.
There's because I'm telling you for a fact, bro. There's certain dudes I know now that dude happily, and they moved on, but we'll still fight today if I see them about something like that. So like. Yeah, I totally get like them. So it has to be that reason, bro. Because I understand that, bro.
Yeah, but in this specific event, they claim. I mean, there's always more like minuscule events that'll trigger you, your anger from previous events, and apparently in this situation, it was because the DJ shouted out Tyga, but not Travis or something.
Oh, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, something along those lines. Obviously, for either of them to get angry, there had to have been prior bad blood, which is probably due to Kylie. But it seems like that's what triggered this event, and it was Tyga's homie AD. I think is his manager as well. I guess pushed or punched Travis, and they kind of had a little scuffle.
But from what the videos I saw, and again, these angles are all crazy, but if we're gonna go strictly based off that moment, it felt like Tyga's camp won, right? Or am I crazy?
Yeah, it looked like they had the upper hand, but I also think they like kind of started it, and
like sucker punch or some kind of like.
If you start it and you don't have a chance to really react, it's just gonna look like you won.
Yeah. But for the cameras, and I know there was a video of Tyga the next day on a boat with like no scars and showing off a little bit, but yeah, bro. I mean, again. I think the beef stuff is fun, like you said earlier, but I feel like we're a little bit fatigued at this point. And then again, if it gets violent, bro, and God forbid someone had a gun on them and some shit and it becomes like a way bigger thing, like it's so stupid. But
yeah,
for the sake of conversation, right? Like again, it's funny, bro, because like first of all, like why would anyone fight Tyga? Like, bro, again, he has a couple bangers, bro, but like on the scale of things, bro, of scales artists, like where Travis is and where Tyga is. I mean, I know Tyga's like technically a West Coast dude, but like, is he that well regarded in West Coast circles as well?
Tyga?
Yeah. He is like.
Yeah, people in the West Coast love Tyga. He's like I would say fucking top 5 of like highly regarded like hip hop acts or whatever you want to call it.
Bro, so maybe this is East Coast bias, but as an East Coast person, dude, we see him as a more prominent flow writer.
I mean, to be clear, like I don't think people definitely aren't like checking for his lyrics or anything, but like if you see his name on a flyer or
you go to
concert,
one of his events,
you're like, oh damn, there's gonna be a lot of girls there and it's gonna be popping. We're gonna have a good time. But it like that's the extent of it.
Got you. Yeah, but it's just, again, if I'm Travis Scott, yeah, like I'm not even trying to get involved in a situation with a Tyga, bro. It's just like, bro, like, am I really gonna fucking ruin my career over this fucking guy? Like, you're essentially a fucking OnlyFans producer. Like what? Like what do I have to win in this situation, bro? So
it's just ego shit.
It's just ego shit, bro. And again, you fucked my bitch. I fucked her first. I got 2 kids, you didn't. Like you already know how these conversations are going down. So it's just like the dumbest. I think academics said like only Kris Jenner can solve this. Like
I don't know. The more like all this stuff unravels, has unraveled over the past couple of months, the more thankful I am I'm not like a struggling upcoming rapper, because I can imagine the pieces of shit you have to deal with in this business constantly. And I won't point fingers at who's the piece of shit, but I just feel like there's way too much fake love floating around that we don't hear about until like years later.
Yeah, dude. But also, if I was an up and coming artist in like the last 8 weeks of music, bro, I'd be pissed. Cause bro, like you could be dropping songs every single week, like, yo, risking your job to put content out. And bro, there is like not enough attention right now unless it's Drake and Kendrick. And like, that's, again, I think it's good for hip hop because the numbers look super inflated. But as far as like the up and coming artists, it's like a very bad time for you because there's just not enough attention to go around.
Right. Yeah. It's not a good time for anyone who's not already a millionaire in music.
But we say that, but this guy, $1 Million Baby, came out and fucking.
True. That was really impressive.
Yeah, but I wonder if that was like, bro, we need a break, bro. Can someone just drop something today? Like, because I remember I heard that song in the midst of Family Matters and Meet the Grams, because I was like, bro, I just need a break, bro. I can't. Like, I don't want to hear about Whitney or Free, or I'm just like, dog, like I'm over it, bro.
Yeah.
All right, last topic before we get into the heat of the week. Hey, this is a quick little thought that Blair and I wanted to bring up. So obviously DJ Khaled, hit maker, known for having collab albums, all his friends together, but the leading friend on those albums is always Drake, right? So it looks like Drake is no longer friends with Future, Rick Ross, all these people that Khaled loves to put together on the track. So I feel like our boy Khaled is hurt by this and probably in a bad mental state. Like, yo, how am I going to produce my next album? Secondly, he also essentially was not discovered, but put on a certain platform because of Diddy. Diddy was essentially like his like right-hand man for a certain extent. And now Diddy's on the run, right? So like, I just wanted to ask you, like, how do you think Khaled's state of mind is on today, on May 28th? Like, how do you think Khaled is right now? Because I don't really see a path. Like, I know, are we checking for a Khaled album that doesn't have a Drake feature? Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's weird, bro. Like, I feel like he's in a very weird spot.
I feel like he's probably not too stressed out because, I mean, he's
already loaded
loads of money. But I think, I don't know too much about his creative process, but I would imagine he can still get Drake, like collaborate with the same people just separately. So I don't think we would see like necessarily a Drake Ross song on the next Khaled album, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was like Drake and 21 Savage and Lil Baby on one song, with the other ones still have Future and Rick Ross. Kind of like they're just part of the same album. I think wasn't Lil Durk and someone else like on the same album, not the same song, but
they were beefing?
I think there's situations of that. Yeah, NBA Youngboy. I think there was some sort of project where they were both on it, or maybe it was Kanye.
Oh, because I
So that
was
was the
thinking from the standpoint of like Drake is telling him, "I'm not giving you a verse if you have all your boys on that album," and then I can see Future and Rick Ross telling you, "I'm not giving you a verse if you have a Drake feature on this album."
I feel like, I mean, if it's not fake love, I feel like they would side with him and be like, this is a favor for you. Fuck those other guys. But you
Side
still,
with who?
I feel like they would just side with Khaled and just basically be like, I'm doing you a favor. Like, I'm not going to prevent you from getting to the bag by the other guys not being able to do anything. Because 21 Savage seems pretty neutral. So I could
Yeah, I
see
think
them
he
being
just did
neutral
a
with
show
Khaled.
with Drake in Toronto, I think yesterday.
Yeah.
So I think yeah.
I think some people, like, I imagine Khaled doesn't want to be involved and they know that. So they wouldn't fuck him over by doing that.
You think Diddy had Khaled doing some wild shit to like get a bag? Because I feel like, bro, like again, you start hearing these stories and you're like, well, if he did it with one guy, I feel like he did it with all of them. And I feel like, bro, like I think we all had this thought at some point. It's like, yo, what does Khaled really do to be at this level? So I'm like, bro, did he do some freaky shit? Like, did he need like a big dude around at all times in his career to feel comfortable, bro? Like, I don't know.
I doubt it. I don't know. I feel like with some people, Diddy just may have like
Vibe with, right? Like,
vibe with, or like strong arm them into like some shitty deal here and there. Something along those lines. Not necessarily just like anyone who's fucked over literally was fucked over. More so like financially in some way.
yeah.
I don't know. I just don't. I feel like Khaled's kind of was in his own little world. I unlike French Montana, where it's like he seemed like on a leash by Diddy.
Yeah. I don't know, bro, but I do feel like Khaled like elevated to a certain level, and then maybe Diddy was a leech onto that to stay relevant. You know, like maybe those lines a little bit blurred. But I do know like Diddy and Khaled, at least the last like 7 years, have been like this. Like all the Ciroc, like all that stuff is like, you know, they're always together. So yeah, I just thought it'd be like an interesting thought, because I'm like, bro, like what is Khaled up to right now, bro? Like all his little Kumbaya albums are done. They feel at least they're taking a pause, right? He's not really a DJ anymore, right? If he ever like, you know, so like, what do you? Again, you're right. He just might be so rich that he's like, yeah, I'm good. I'll enjoy the break until it's all like, you know, is like, you know, swept under the rug a little bit, and everyone can just move on with their lives. But yeah, shout out to Khaled, bro. Again, I would never go see Khaled live, but you got to respect the hustle. So shout out to him.
I actually saw Khaled and Diddy live, not for their own shows, but my wife and I went to, you know how you can like sign up to be part of the audience for like random TV shows and networks and stuff.
Yeah, like extras or whatever.
Yeah, they were hosts for, I forget the name of the shows, like America Got Talent type thing. But
yeah.
Singers,
That's what it is.
I forget the name of it. Maybe it was that one. But yeah, they were like right there, and they seem relatively chill and normal. Granted, they're being filmed by like 80 cameras, so of course they're behaved. But it's just crazy to know that like they were there and could have done the most heinous shit ever, like the night before.
Yeah, dude, it's like it's a not a slippery slope, but that's like a rabbit hole, bro. Like when you start like, and then it sucks, bro, because like there's also probably a gazillion amazing things that Diddy did for like schools, like impoverished areas, and it's just like we don't care. Like we don't care. You beat the bitch. Like we don't care. Like it's wild, bro. Because obviously you're gonna side with like you're an animal, you're a monster. But like should it fully remove the amazing things you did? I know the answer is yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think it's the obvious answer. I feel like I wish there was a safe space to like actually indulge in that conversation a little bit. Like
yeah.
But he kind of culture. You're done, bro. You're done.
That's like the real cancel culture. Like it's not just like, oh, some tweet from 20 years ago about you saying this. Like once it becomes a legal issue and there's video evidence, then people like really cancel you. I mean, I do believe in second chances, but I feel like the problem with him is this is probably like the thousandth time he's done some shit like this.
Yeah, dude. But also the thing is, like, a second chance also could mean like, all right, bro, you don't go to jail and people don't throw Starbucks on you while you walk down the street, but like, you're not gonna be famous anymore. You know, like I feel like in his mind he wants to be on top of, like, a second chance to him is being on top again. And it's like, no, bro, like that has sailed. Like you have to, like, that's why I kind of brought up our point that you made last week about like you know, God forbid, but they're saying that he's like, there was like rumors of like him maybe killing himself, right? And like if you talk that out, you can see a path, unfortunately, where someone who's just been at that level for 30 odd years could be like, well, if I'm not able to do that ever again, then what the fuck am I even here for?
Yeah. And maybe it was the stress talking, but I think that's the unfortunate thing is he probably built these habits, you know, in the 90s or whatever, when you could easily get away with this stuff. And you're doing it to women who aren't even remotely famous. You know, some chick from the hood who probably is happy to even be invited to one of these parties. But,
bro, but think about,
just transition to Cassie.
But yeah, but think about, dude, but I think there's also this thing of like all ego, bro. And this is like, we're going to real.
What, ego?
Yeah, ego. Like we're getting into real, like, so Diddy's ego, like male ego, right?
Yeah.
But think about it, bro. He had a fucking incident in 2001 when he was dating J-Lo, when Shine went to jail, that they were at a club. Dude, witnesses in the courtroom saw him pull the trigger and someone got shot. And Shine still took the rap and went to jail for that, right? So from his standpoint, Diddy, he's like, bro, I'm untouchable, dog. You know, it's like, imagine how much that builds, and he keeps getting richer. He does something else, no one says anything, NDAs are signed, he feels protected. Like, bro, like, again, I'm not trying to justify it, but there has to be a level of like, bro, like, I'm unstoppable, bro. Like, I can do whatever the fuck I want and nothing's gonna happen to me, right? And there has to be a level of that, bro, because again, dude, I remember that court hearing, like I was a kid, but like, bro, like those witnesses were saying he pulled the trigger and he walked scot-free. Like, dude, did he even do time in jail? Bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how it works, but I mean, I guess if as long as someone's going to jail for the event that actually took place, then maybe the court's willing to just put someone away and get justice. But yeah, it's wild. I think just some people, like money and power, will just amplify the wild shit they would have done to begin with.
Yeah. But again, shout out to Khaled. Again, hopefully we get do you think we get a Diddy update soon? Or do we truly think he's gonna go in hiding a little bit and just like hope for all this to die down?
I feel like
it's our last episode. There's been like another model who came through and said she was sexually assaulted back in like 2006 or something.
I feel like we're gonna get a lot of those, but unless they're high profile, I think people are gonna assume those ones are money grabs, unfortunately. Hopefully anyone coming forward actually has evidence of it. But I feel like we're not gonna hear much for a few weeks at this point.
Yeah. But even a few weeks feels like a year in this shit. But
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, oh man, it's such a wild time, bro. Again, I feel like we thought it was gonna be a slow hip hop news season, and like January and February were kind of slow, and then like, bro, like March came around, and this has been like something like, dude, like, and it's like, Jesus, bro, like it's hard to. Like there has to be like a happy medium where we can actually like listen to new artists and like, you know, like kind of like, why are we talking about the same shit for like 8 weeks now? But I think I was having dinner with Gina downstairs and she's like, so are we changing the Drake topics yet? Or I'm like, no, we got 2 more.
I know. I was just looking. I was looking at like our last 6 or so episodes, and
it's
like,
just like
all the way, like even before your wedding, it was all Drake and Diddy. Like, because this thumbnail was starting to look the same to me. I'm like, I know we filmed more than.
Did I do this? Was I here before? Yeah. Oh man, that's right. Well, maybe next week we'll like do an effort to like avoid.
I mean, it's great for the algorithm.
It is great for the algorithm. And again, I get roasted. We get roasted for some of our takes, but I'm not against it. All right, bro. Let's get out of here. Before we do, episode 179. What is your heat of the week, my dude?
So I took a week off from hip hop, for the
Oh,
most part.
nice.
And this song I've been replaying a lot. It's a house song. It's called "Feel" by LP Giabi and Jacob Banks. I'll send it to you. I have no
Please.
idea how to pronounce that name, but it's a really feel good house song. I've been accumulating my house playlist over the past year or so, and this Sunday night when a couple friends came over, I put it on, and I didn't realize how dope the playlist was until then, because a lot of times I like I'll collect songs for a playlist but never actually sit down and listen to it.
Listen to the whole
And
playlist.
yeah, it's actually the same one you shared with Denise, I think.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
So I added this one to the playlist, and it's currently my favorite. And I think you'd enjoy it. It's a solid track.
You said feel?
Yep, Feel.
And is it a like a when you say house, it's like one DJ or is it like an artist? Like a
It's
singer,
always
or
so confusing with these songs because there'll always be like two people listed, and I can't tell if like one's a DJ or the
and one's the
singer or what.
vocalist. Yeah.
I think the DJ or producer or whatever is LP Giabi. Yeah, it says DJ, producer, pianist. So I guess she's the one who made the beat, and then Jacob Banks is the singer, I would
The
assume.
singer. Got it. No, you're right. Those that was a dumb question. 'Cause, yeah, those house songs are always so confusing because it's like, who is it, right?
Yeah.
I get it. Dude, but honestly, my heat of the week is something you shared it with me. Then Corey already shared it with me as well. So it's the Risk Taker.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Is the artist name? Is it Blast?
Yeah, Blast.
Yeah, Blast and Offset, Risk Taker. I sent it to a couple of my boys. I sent it to Sam and Drew. I was like, bro, this is the summer tune that we need, bro. Like, I want whatever my summer is gonna be, I want it to be this song. So like,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a really great song, bro. Like, I knew it was gonna be good before I even heard it, but I like that I didn't know what to expect, right? Because I never heard. I think I've seen Blast before, but I can't remember a song off the top of my head, so I didn't know what the mood was gonna be. But this was like a really good song. So yeah, Risk Taker was a very enjoyable track you sent me.
Nice. I'm glad you brought it up. I totally forgot that I had replayed that a lot as well.
Yeah, very replayable.
Yeah, super replayable. I would say Blast music normally is not as
Is he like beamish?
upbeat. No, I would say more so like, I mean, I guess it's a good thing he doesn't really sound like anyone else. It's like kind of West Coast R&B, like stuff that like Tyga would feature on it. It's more like, it is summery, but it's not as upbeat. Like, it's not gonna be a club banger. It's gonna be like summer barbecue type shit. This is more of like, you could hear it in the club,
but like summer barbecue with like late in the evening. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is like a vibe at night as opposed to like during the day kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like Ty Dolla $ign type stuff, I guess you could say.
I would
more
say
of the
more
R&B
hip.
stuff.
Yeah. Side note, bro, you know what I did recently? I just put Don Toliver's entire catalog on like shuffle, bro. What a playlist! Like, yo,
Nice.
like so good, bro. So I think for the summer, I reckon if you have like a jacuzzi night upstairs, dude, that Don Toliver. If you re-listen to that last album, dude, on shuffle, so good, bro,
Nice.
so good. Yeah. Like I that's why I like when you give some like certain albums like a break. Right, and then just go back to it and be like, all right, I did like this, or you know what, dude, that Don Toliver album, definitely. I know we love the banger with like Future and Justin Bieber, but there's like 6 more on that album, bro, that are just like really good.
Oh, I'll have to revisit that. Yeah, there's definitely a handful on there that I still listen to this day and don't realize how much I like it till to now, especially the one with like Tizo Touchdown and Tissa Korean or whatever, however you pronounce his name.
Dude, I think and this could be like our last take, but I think like I think where I struggle with him, it's those artists where like it feels like it's like too easy for them. So then like innately I'm like, bro, it's just like another Tyga song or another Don Toliver song. And they're like, oh, bro, but it's a very good Don Toliver song. You know what I mean? Like, appreciate the song, bro. Like, yes, it's like similar, but this is also a very good song. So I think it's that, right? Because his cadence and tone is usually always the same on his songs. So like it feels like almost like Gunna-ish, where like song 1 sounds like song 5, and it's like, there's no variety. But I think if you let it breathe for a little bit, you'll start to see the nuances that are subtle but there. And I think that's what you get on a Don Toliver album.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it boils down to me always having like too high of expectations right away. And I'm like, if he's not changing the game and creating some new sound, then it's whack or like not that dope. And then you appreciate it later on when you're like, I just needed to appreciate him for who he is and what he does well and not think too hard about it.
Yeah, I think the overthinking kills us. But I think that's also due to like a lack of like enough artistry coming through from like other people, right? We're still kind of relying on the same like 8 people to give us like a hit. And it's like, I feel like we should have some variety by now.
He actually has a new song with Charlie Wilson that I really like, called Attitude. If you want to check that
nice.
one out.
I'll peep that. I didn't even know about that. That's nice, dude. All right, episode 179 in the books. My dude, let the people know where they can find us. And let's get out of here.
Yes, sir. Catch us at audio-theory.com. New episode every week on all platforms. We also have the Spotify and Apple Music playlists on there as well. So check out the Heat of the Week selections. And if you're on YouTube, check down below. We got merch for you to cop as well. But again, if you're a broke bitch and you don't have the money to just get a sticker or something,
bro, like and subscribe.
Share, subscribe, donate, do what you can to support the channel.
Absolutely. Love you, my dude. Feel better.
Love you too. Appreciate it.
Peace.
Peace.